We're going to just move right on to the proclamations. The first proclamation we're going to do tonight is proclamation recognizing First National Gun Violence Awareness Day.
That's me. Yeah, why don't you guys come down and why don't you ladies come up?
We're going down? Okay. See you later, bye.
I'm Amy.
Hi.
Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Oh, thank you. I should take a picture of this or something. We'd love to put them on now. Okay. We're going to take pictures. There's a bracelet. Oh, thank you. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Oh, awesome. That's fabulous. Yeah, we have these. What are you gonna do? Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. Wow, I inspire. All right, you ready? I'm gonna stand here, and then maybe you all can stand around us. Well, maybe move it a little closer. Let's go. Okay. So the City of Asbury Park is obviously giving a proclamation. This declares the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the City of Asbury Park, to honor and remember all the victims and survivors of gun violence, and to declare that as a country we must do more to reduce gun violence. Every day, 96 Americans are killed by gun violence, and on average there are nearly 13,000 gun homicides every year. Americans are 25 times more likely to be killed with guns than people in other developed countries. And protecting public safety in the communities they serve is mayors' highest responsibility. And support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizen goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from dangerous people. Mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best, are the most familiar with local and criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. In January 2013, Hadia Pendleton, did I say her name right? Hadia Pendleton, a teenager who marched in President Obama's second inaugural parade, was tragically shot and killed just weeks later. She would have been celebrating her 21st birthday. And to help honor Hadia and the 96 Americans whose lives are cut short and the countless survivors who are injured by shootings every day, a national coalition of organizations has designated June 1st, 2018, the first Friday in June, as the 4th National Gun Violence Awareness Day. The idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. Anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 1st, the first Friday in June in 2018, to help raise awareness about gun violence and to honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. We renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage the responsible gun ownership to help keep our kids safe. It is therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the Asbury Park City Council declare the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and encourage all citizens to support their local communities' efforts to prevent tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. So,
I want to thank Mayor Moore and the rest of the council for doing this. It's really wonderful. Last year, we were a very new local group, and we had 3 towns that did a proclamation. Right now, we're up to 27 in Monmouth County. So we are trying to get as many as we can in Monmouth County. And we're having an event here in Asbury Park on June 2nd in Springwood Park, and we invite all of you to come, and please tell your friends, and that's in commemoration of National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and we have some of our local politicians coming to speak. We have some entertainment, and it's a way just to really honor everyone who has, fallen victim to gun violence. It's in Springwood Park from 12:30 to 3:30 on Saturday the 2nd. So please spread the word. I've put some flyers up here. You can take one of those. But again, just thank you very much for doing this. And I have to say, I remember when I met Mayor Moore the first time, I was at an Asbury Park Democrats meeting, and he said, put me down for next year. I will be there and I will do it. And I remember that, and that was in September. So thank you very, very much.
There you go.
Ready? One more.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, this time we're just going to move on, and we're going to have Leisha do the special event applications.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first application is Fitness in Sunset Park on June 2nd, hosted by the Mayor's Wellness Committee. Second is the Pulse Ceremony Remembrance in Library Square Park on June 12th. Third is the Red Bull Beach Soccer on June 16th, 2nd Avenue Beach. Quality of Life will be having a community get-together on June 18th in Springwood Park. Asbury Park Rose Fest would be held in Kennedy Park on June 23rd. A wedding in Kennedy Park on June 30th. Asbury Park Fireworks on July 4th. Another wedding in Kennedy Park on July 28th. Clean Ocean Action Sandy Paws event will be held on September 15th. And the last 4 applications are wedding applications. Are there any questions? No?
Should be good.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me, Alicia. Saturday, we have security, right? At the at the Hammery Park?
Yes.
Okay, because I was at Saturday.
Yes.
Thank you.
Corinne, you ready?
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to proclamation recognizing Haitian American Month.
Thank you for coming. On May 12th at the Asbury Park Senior Center, we celebrated Haitian American Day. And this is a result of that. Corinne Kircher was one of the organizers and the MC for the day. So as a result, we would like to present you with this proclamation. Whereas the month of May is an important time for members of the Haitian community because it marks the anniversaries of the birth of Toussaint Louverture, one of the leaders of the Haitian Revolution and the historic Congress that united officials for the Haitian Independence War and the creation of the flag of the Republic. And whereas 215 years ago, the War of Independence between the people of Haiti and France came to a close and the Republic of Haiti was established. And whereas the Haitian community has established and distinguished itself through the efforts of community organizations, businesses, community support initiatives, and participation. And whereas the Haitian American community contributes tremendously to the vitality, rich culture, and diversity of the city of Asbury Park and enriching the lives of all citizens. And whereas throughout the month of May, the Haitian community will gather and celebrate their heritage through historic and cultural traditions and observances. Now therefore be it resolved that in honor and celebration of the many accomplishments and contributions of the Haitian American community, Mayor John Moore and the Asbury Park City Council hereby proclaim May 2018 to be Haitian Heritage Month.
Thank you very much. This is a great honor for the Haitian American community, and it is a historic day, and we are glad that Haitian Americans have been part of the Jersey Shore and part of Asbury Park in particular for 56 years and counting, through the good times, through the bad times, and for more good times to come. And every year we invite people to come and celebrate with us, celebrate our culture. And we want to thank the mayor and the council for their great support throughout the year. And I would like to present the copies of the proclamations to a couple of people. The first one I would like to present to Mr. Louis Fabian, who has been a great member of our community throughout the years. So one copy goes to him, and we will make copies for various stakeholders, of course. And the other one that we would like to present, sorry about that. I don't see. Okay. And the other one that we would like to present is, as a friend of the community, Mr. Howard West, who has been a friend of the community from the very beginning. So you get the second copy. And thank you so much. I get that one. Thank you so much for your support. And God bless.
All right, everybody say Asiago.
All right, we're going to move on with our agenda tonight, and next is a presentation by our transportation planner, Michael Manzella, regarding electric vehicle charging and car share.
Good evening, Council. As you're aware, we went out for RFP for electric vehicle charging and car share program. The responses were received and the contract was awarded by resolution at the last council meeting to Green Spot to provide this service. So what I'm here before you tonight is just to talk about proposed locations for the pilot service. Not to say that we can't expand beyond this. I think we want to try this for 6 months to a year, see what the usage is, and then look at other locations. But initially, as we said in the RFP, there were kind of 3 areas that we were looking at potentially for the first phase: the downtown, the waterfront somewhere, and on Springwood Avenue. So I'll first talk about the CBD, downtown. Everyone has a packet. The first slide is just a little heat map analysis that I did. Parking during downtown, and this was between April and September of last year, so kind of the most in-demand months. And you'll see from the heat map that where the red means higher occupancy, the blue means lowest occupancy. So the area that the parking committee is proposing for this car share location is on Madison Avenue, on the north side of the street. It's an area that generally during the week is almost never occupied. It really fills up on like Friday, Saturday night. It's a good location because it's right near City Hall. It's still in the downtown. It's pretty close to the train station, and it's visible. And the other thing is, I should have mentioned before, is once we told Green Spot that they're the selected vendor, we actually did a walkthrough with them in the city and looked at the infrastructure that's available, because they need to be somewhere with a transformer to provide that electric vehicle charging service. So that Madison Avenue spot is really a good spot. It is near a transformer. So the next slide just shows the street view picture of that location, and the following slide shows what we're proposing. So it would be 2 car share spaces and 2 public charging spaces. So public charging spaces would still be paid for by a visitor to the city, just like any other space, only that they would have to have an electric vehicle charging there to park there. And the car share vehicles are there for people to use, residents to use in that location. Next, we move on to the waterfront. When we took a look around, the area that seemed to make the most sense was on Sunset Avenue, as it is not, it's outside of the first 2 blocks off the waterfront, but it is still a location that's prominent, that'll get visibility, and that's an area that was, in lower demand, and it was only recently metered for parking. So this occupancy map shows that area between September September of last year and April of this year. So what we're proposing is in the angled spaces, kind of right in front of Sunset Lake, to do the parking there with the same thing, 2 car share spaces and 2 public charging spaces. So that, again, the car share will be available to residents in the area. This is near the kind of the northern quadrant of the city, which the northeast quadrant of the city, which is higher density housing, and we see that people would use it in this area. And then finally, in Springwood Avenue, we took a look at the locations, looking at the transformers again and where the development is happening. And what we came to was to do just 2 car share station, just so one charging port right by the park, not from the park, but kind of on the block next to it, near kind of in the middle of Old Michael's development. So that's our proposed locations. Looking for feedback from the council, and once they're good, we'll move forward and start installing them.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So how are we going to let people know that we have these public charging stations? How do we identify that?
Yeah, as part of the contract with the vendor, they have agreed to do a number of outreach and marketing. They've agreed to do a certain number of events each month. I think it was like 2 events for the first 4 months, to come out to the city and tell people about it, to do the website outreach, to do press releases, things like that. I think, we'll use every outlet that we have to get it out there. The other thing that's interesting is if there's really one prominent provider of the charging stations, ChargePoint, and they have a network. So if you have an electric vehicle, you download the ChargePoint app because you want to know where you want to charge, and those locations will show up on that app. So people will know, okay, I know in Asbury I can go and park and charge.
Great.
So
Wonderful.
I have a couple questions. I'm just curious, with the problems we have with parking,
sure.
why do we need more cars when we have bicycles? Well, bicycles was really, I agree with on that, but we don't have a lot of parking. So you think people really going to come in town and get a car instead of a cab?
No.
We have cabs, we have buses, we have trolley cars going up and down.
This is really not meant to, the car share is really not meant for visitors coming out of town. I think that's part of it, but I think it's really for residents. The situation that I think it'll most help is if say you're in a 2-person household and you have one person who really needs a car for work, and the other person probably doesn't need a car for work, but they need a car to get around when the other person's at work, right? They go to grocery store, Target. This is really to take care of that use case, which I think is pretty prominent in Asbury Park.
On Springwood Avenue?
Well, it's
The high density, the idea is to put it, I think, and you can stop me, is to put it in high density. So when I lived on Deal Lake Drive, which has all of the apartment buildings, people didn't have cars. Like, those are the people I think you're attracting.
Yeah.
So Springwood Ave is going to probably, the more Asbury revitalizes Springwood.
But that was 15 years ago. 15, close to 20 years ago, right?
What do you mean?
In years. 15 years when you come here, I think the population may have been 9, now it's 17,000. It's a lot of people that have come to Asbury.
Sure. Well, I think on Springwood Ave.
The only reason
Rates might be.
No, but we can guide them as to what we want to see and suggest vendors that will provide those rates. I think any car share, you're looking at least $7 to $8 an hour and going up. So.
When a vehicle is being charged,
Yeah.
is there a limit to how much time they can stay in that space? Or I'm just thinking if 2 cars are there
Yeah.
and they decide, well, I'm here, so I'll just spend the day and the night.
You mean for the
Then-
public charging?
Yeah,
Yeah.
then another car can't come in and charge at that spot.
No, so the way it's going to work is they're going to have to, if they're not charging, they're not allowed to stay in that space.
It's only for charging.
It's only for charging. But at the same time, they have to pay for that space. So it's another incentive to get out because you can pay for the space.
So would they pay a premium if they stayed in that space?
That's something we could discuss, honestly. I think I wouldn't want the city to charge a premium for the electric charging because I think we want to incentivize people to use efficient, clean air vehicles. Well, that's something we could look at is for that space, if you stay over a certain time, we we could raise the prices on that space, yeah, sure.
Could we limit the amount of time they actually stay in that space?
Yeah, we could program that in the meters and on the app, yeah.
I think that's something you're gonna have to do, especially with the, excuse me, with the beachfront being the first two spots on the 300 block of Sunset Avenue.
Yeah.
That's prime parking, so
Yeah.
I can come down, park my electric car there, just leave it plugged in and say, it's still charging.
Right.
12 hours later.
Right.
Right, and if the special violation also goes by and he sees the car's plugged in, he's gonna think it's charging, but it could have been there for 2
It
days.
could not be
Yeah,
charged, right.
right, so,
Yeah.
that's something we're gonna have to look into.
Definitely.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
No? Thank you.
Okay, we have another presentation this evening. Ronnie Solomon, the co-founder of the Conscious Youth Development and Services.
And his partner.
And Michael Mills.
And his partner, yep.
That's not what he said.
Okay.
Good evening.
And why wouldn't he hold it one of our lights?
Looking clean, I don't know.
Welcome, thank you. Take one of
I didn't do it.
Thanks.
I'm not saying it wrong. People rather go with
They're all different.
There they
Okay.
are.
So this would be for those that have licenses. This doesn't help.
Ready?
It's a flat rate.
You're on, Jeremy.
Everybody. My name is Ron South.
Peace and love, brothers and sisters, kings and queens. My name is Michael Mills. How we doing?
And we're the co-founder of the organization called Conscious Youth Development and Service. And our mission
It's to prepare and create future leaders through holistic intervention. And with that, we focus on the body, the mind, and the soul. Just to break down the body.
is really that we emphasize, because we're trying to transform the pilots that we work with in the community as they're part and beyond. We understand how the basic foundation of who we are is our body. And for us to operate and do any job and serve our purpose, we have to make sure that this vehicle is operating. So we strongly believe in balanced diet and nutrition. And the kids that we work with in the community, we always emphasize making sure that we're just consciously aware of what it is you are putting inside your body and understanding. Because when you look at some of the highest death rates in the United States today, you gotta realize what are the lifestyle habits that are creating that. And seeing that the kids that we serve in the community, seeing all the issues that they're facing, how has their diet impacted them from not letting them evolve to the next level? And after we bring balance to the body, we bring balance to the mind.
And similar to we are what we eat, we are what we think. And understanding our mind is like a garden, like that beautiful community garden you have out there. If I plant onions, carrots are going to grow. So I have to plant seeds of love and compassion so love and compassion grow. But if I am constantly putting hate, negativity in my mind by the music I'm listening to, the TV I'm watching, and all the things, other things I'm putting in my mind, I understand that's going to manifest in my reality. So we understand the importance of cleansing the mind just like we're cleansing the body. And just to bring balance to the mind, we have to understand I can't put that toxic music in my mind. I can't put that TV show that I'm playing 24/7 on my mind. I have to really cleanse my mind and go on a mental diet and put things that are going to be productive to my lifestyle in my mind. Then we move on to the soul.
And you see a lot of this community, and this is across the globe, people are facing trauma and have dealt with some kind of obstacle or struggle. And we look at the research of how trauma affects you on the physical level, mental level, emotional level. It really debilitates your ability for you to utilize your intelligence. And it's basically when how your brain functions. When you are in a state of fight or flight or a state of shock and stress, it is very difficult to access the part of the brain where you use all of your logical thinking, your intelligence. And when we're working in schools, you notice these kids aren't dumb. It's just that they have so much emotion built inside of themselves that they haven't released or been taught to release. So what they rely on coping skills that are destructive to themselves, drinking, smoking, drugs, sexual activity, and it doesn't give them an outlet. So we learn to focus on the mindfulness, the meditation, the yoga, and the introspection for them to have a toolkit within themselves that they can utilize to support them when they do face those challenges. Because when we hold on anything inside, you recognize how do we treat the people around us. When you come to work stressed or anxious or nervous, how does that affect you? It's not just the youth that we're trying to bring awareness to, it's all members of the community. For everyone to have to understand that for us to bring balance externally, we have to start to see the balance internally. Because whatever is inside of ourselves is going to be a direct reflection outside of ourselves. And how we create that, we have an array of community programs and school-based programs. So Mike will break down our community programs, and I'll share with you our school-based programs and how we accomplish our mission.
So the journey started about 3.5 years ago, December 2014. We announced our One Mic, One Soul open mic event at Cooler Cafe, and they opened up their doors for the last 3.5 years, and we've had our community open mics there, our meditations there, and they've allowed us to use their space free of charge for us to get our program at the community. But that's how it started. One Mic, One Soul has been a platform for openness, vulnerability. You might have seen it on APTV. They'll be back soon to videotape some more to get the new updates. We've started with One Mic, One Soul. We've had our community meditations, which are on the second and fourth Monday of the month at Cooler Cafe. That's at 5:30 p.m. And we've done yoga in the community, and we've also been partnering with the Danny Clinton Transparent alongside the Asbury Hotel on some what we call soul cases, where we just bring in some artists, some poets who create from the soul and just share themselves, and for a great cause too. So money we raise goes to our organization. We just did a soul case about a couple weeks ago that went to hosting our free summer program, and that's our final program, community-based program. It's our Journey Summer program, which is here in Asbury Park, our 4th year running the program. And basically that's a holistic model for children, youth, to learn techniques to bring balance to themselves internally. You know, the goal is for these youth not to rely on us full time, but to have the tools and techniques when they can utilize by themselves. So when they're 11 o'clock at night, you're upset, angry, had an argument, you're facing a decision you have to make, you have the tools to bring balance to yourself. You know, and it starts with the body, it starts with the mind, and it ends with the soul. And that's what that Journey Summer program focuses on. It's a blueprint for life and character development internally, so our external life can shine. And then we move on to our school-based program.
So we've been over the past 2 years alone, we've been in over 13 different schools in Monmouth County. And we have a full-time school-based program at the Asbury Park High School and the middle school where we're helping promote the wellness initiative. And we have an in-house mindful moment room where kids who, and when you hear these stories, you start seeing like, man, some of these kids at a young age are handling situations that a lot of adults haven't even been through at all. And when they don't have an outlet, it leads to a lot of external things are releasing that tension. But now they have a space within the building where they can learn how to regulate their nervous system. They can learn how to steady their mind. They can learn how to listen to what their heart is really telling them through the mindfulness techniques, through the one-on-one. They can be sent down by a teacher, or they can be recommended themselves. We also provide gym yoga for them on a bi-weekly basis, provide them to show them that these are just tools. It's a non-secular practice, but showing you when you utilize your body, when you stretch, when you take the time to be still, it allows you to take some space away from your mind. We also do a program called Alternative Learning Lab program where they have targeted the most at-risk youth based upon attendance, their suspension rates and behavior, and they go through a 10-week program within the building as well. And then we have a conscious classroom program where we go into the classroom for 15, 20 minutes and we show them basic tools and techniques that they can utilize to help ground and center themselves and just deal with the obstacles that we're all going to face in our journey of life, but also equipping them with the ability to deal with those challenges instead of constantly reacting. Teach them how to respond instead. And we also do workshops, assemblies, and just not just the students, but this is an approach that we're trying to talk to the staff members, the administration, to make them realize that everything you see is just a reflection of what's inside. You know, and the goal is, our vision is just to bring balance and bring the awareness of all of us taking the time to look within, not just at the school level, but the community level, but a city level, because everything we see is a reflection of us. And the beauty is we've been able to connect and build bridges between the east side and the west side and be in a space where we're not taking sides. We're only here to support, bringing in balance so we can make sure that we can have a more harmonious experience collectively besides just being, what is it about me? But seeing how we can look at all of us. And that is more so our intention today is to just bring awareness to who we are. Because me and Mike have been doing this by ourselves for the past 3 years, but we just recently hired 2 staff from supportive donations and getting more funding. Because the kids who are on the spectrum will always be labeled problem individuals, and the ones who aren't have many issues. And we work with all individuals. We're in the classrooms, the ALL program is targeting the kids who are at-risk behaviors, and then also kids are sent to us by Zajac is currently the individual that handles behavior in the building. So he's going on monitoring behavior in classrooms, because they don't have the IS like it was in the past in the school. They have to change it around, and there are more alternative means to deal with it. And I think they changed the name to ACS in the middle school. So it's different ways we're trying to find out different approaches to deal, because it's throwing a kid in the ISS, telling them to sit there all day, here's your work, is not changing the behavior. is just only allowing them to just take a moment to get out of the classroom, not be a problem in that space. But now I'm still marinating within the thing that's causing me to act out in this way. Now, it's not something that is just going to change overnight. I've had kids where he snapped and reacted and cursing out a teacher. But then I pulled him back in the room and I was like, so what happened? He's like, well, I did what you said. I took a deep breath, you know? I took a moment to reflect. And I was like, Mr. Bobby, I still wanted to curse her out. So I was like, okay, but by him telling me that, he wasn't processing his thoughts before. He wasn't reflecting, he was in a place of reaction. But even though on the outside it may not look like he is changing, that just showed me that he's actually using his critical thinking to actually process his thought. Is his character purified? No. But if I could save a kid who might end up stabbing somebody, you know, he still might be, because I know these kids, they still might be on the streets, gang banging, still on the streets doing different things, but if they could be a little bit more conscious to transform and not do as risky behavior, to me, that is still a success, because you have to realize for any behavior to change within any individual, it takes time. Not go to the gym in one day, oh, now I'm ready for the beach. But it's the consistency. And once you make this a cultural awareness where the same methods of just being authoritative and just saying you got to do this, it's not working no more. These kids are not falling for the same approaches. And the transition you see on a collective level across the country, every school is looking for alternative ways to deal. These teachers are not equipped to deal with what's going on. And it's just showing we have to attempt a new way. And when you take the time to go within yourself, you're gonna realize, oh wow, I do have this power. You know, I don't have to hold on to this thing. I hold on, yes, my father may have, yes, my mom might be drinking, all these different factors, but I still have the power and ability to change the path I live. I don't get caught into the black hole of darkness that is surrounding certain areas of the community. And that is the ultimate vision of what we're trying to accomplish. So that answers the question.
Yes, thank you.
And along the lines of that, the culture of the school is changing too. So the teachers are and the staff, security are starting to understand aspects of what we're doing in building and how it is developing and working with the youth. So instead of going to ACS, they're bringing the kids up to the moment room to calm down. Instead of giving them the referral, you know, where they might be suspended, they're going to the room and they're able to calm down. I see a lot of kids, man, I'm surprised some kids will go back to say, I cussed you out, but I'm going to apologize for my actions. And they're actually really starting to critically think about what they're doing. Because like I said, you got to break that cycle. If I'm only around at my family all day long, then what do you think I'm going to act like? You know, you call a parent and they come to the school acting the same way. It's like, oh, okay. And the parents need it too. You know,
I'm not going to prolong it, and I appreciate what you guys are doing, but you just hit on something, the parents.
Oh, yeah.
You need to get the parents up there.
But
I be in a school at least twice a week, and I see so much that's just disturbing. But good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You do an excellent job. Excuse me, anything we can do to work together, just reach out.
Okay. So I asked before the mayor, do you have to be like in the committee, or can you still attend meetings, or how does that process work?
So you can join it if you want to. You can make. We're not going to throw you off if you miss meetings. If you just want to attend some of the meetings, you can do that. So either way.
Okay.
Okay. No, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything you're doing.
So, I'm telling you,
Yeah, talk to him.
We'll move on to city manager's report of issues raised at prior meetings.
None at this time.
Review of tonight's agenda.
On the consent agenda, resolutions, resolution 2018-193 is the special events. 194 is a sewer credit. 195 is a liquor license renewal. 196 is appointing members to the zoning board of adjustment. The member's name will be read at the regular meeting. And 197 is a resolution authorizing the disposition of surplus electronic property. Resolution 198 is approving the payment of bills. I would like to request resolution 2018-187 to be tabled until the next meeting. Resolution 2018-199 designating jitney routes for 2018. Mr. Manzella is here, and if there's any questions of him, we would do so now.
Go on.
You designate, because I read this, you designated them or you just left the designation up to the council?
That's his suggestion.
Oh.
He's open for feedback.
Okay.
Just two attachments.
Right. Yeah, we got it.
will actually designate the route pursuant to Michael's recommendation.
Okay, that's fine.
And no. And the question,
Never mind, come back.
and the route is only gonna be on Springwood on the nights that there are There's music in the park?
Yes.
For the first year, just because of all the building going on that.
So we said with the provider of the jitney who wants to come in, and I think his big thing was he doesn't want to compete with the taxi cabs, because he's providing a service that's kind of like a taxi, right? So he wants to make sure that we stay on a route that is, it's kind of just serving the population that would just want to get from one area of town to the other without like door-to-door service. So really serving the kind of like commercial areas where there's a lot of activity. So he agreed that summer concert series is a great idea to, get that service out there.
Okay, and what is the charge for the service?
He's looking at, well, by ordinance, it's not going to be able to exceed $5 a person, but he's looking at charging, I think, $250 this time.
Is there one jitney?
No, he's planning on at least having 3, maybe up to 5.
And they'll just continually loop?
They just continually loop. Yeah. And it's basically an extended golf cart. It's a 6-seater, leather seating, and he wants to operate all year, so he's going to have
The sides
coverings,
enclosed.
in the wintertime.
He's gonna operate all year?
Yeah, he wants to operate all year.
No other questions? Next.
Resolution 2018-200 is adopting a green purchasing policy. Resolution 201 is awarding a contract to Monmouth County for road repaving. This is for
200 block of 6 and 7.
Yes. I wasn't sure if it was 2 or 400. Resolution 202 is change order number 1 for the firehouse lintel project. This is a time extension. It's the manufacturing of the fabrication of the metal. Resolution 203 and 204 are for 4th Avenue. Change order number 3 is for $0, and change order number 4 is for some infrastructure improvements. Resolution 205 is the performance bond for Asbury Lanes. Resolution 206 is the escrow agreement. Resolution 207 is proposed amendments of referral to the planning board. Resolution 208 is the purchase of asphalt for the county road project. Moving on to ordinances for introduction is 2018-27. This is a staff request for we would like to replace the drone with some body-worn cameras and speed trailers. The drone, we're not changing the money. The drone we found is going to take too long to implement, and 1, if not 2 other towns around us have become certified in it, so we could just use them if we need to. But the drone it would actually take a while to get it up and running. We can do more with the body-worn cameras in the trailer. So that is an amendment to that ordinance. Second reading, 2018-15, we're asking to table. 2018-20, we're asking the council to table. Resolution 2018-21, we're asking to adopt ordinance. I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Clerk. That is the development. I'm sorry. 2018-21, we're asking to be tabled. This will be adopted upon the court's approval. Ordinance 2018-22 is the jitney ordinance. 2018-23 is amending traffic and parking regulations. And if there's any questions on 22 and 23, Mr. Manzella is going to stick around, which he now knows. Resolution 2018-24 is the amendment to the Springwood Avenue redevelopment plan. Ordinance, 2018-25 is an easement for 545 Lake Avenue. And 2018-26 is for the the financial agreement with the Asbury Hotel and the Asbury Lanes.
Okay, I'm sorry. 2018-25. I'm going to make a motion to table it just because there's no fee associated with it. And this council made the decision months ago, if we're going to give away city right away, we're going to get dollars for it. I don't see a fee attachment. So somebody's going to have to work up the fee, and then we'll tell you if it's the right fee or wrong fee, or what we think. But I didn't realize it was second. I didn't say it the first reading, so I apologize for that. But if we're going to do it to one, we have to do it to all. Okay. That's my feeling. That's all I have. Any questions on the agenda? Next.
Matters by City Council.
So I just wanted to let everyone know that there will be a Memorial Day service of the Asbury Park Fire Department, Monday, May 28th at 9 a.m. in Fireman's Memorial Park on Sunset Avenue and Main Street.
I don't have anything except to wish everybody a wonderful holiday, a safe and happy holiday with family and friends.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Jesse?
No comments at this time.
Just one question, and don't need the answer now. Are we getting closer to closing on that piece of property that we sold twice illegally, so we can sell it legally, at the corner of Springwood and Memorial?
Yes, right now it is in DEP's hands. They need to finalize the amendment of our roster of open space inventory, the ROSI. That went down to them I think a week or so
Okay,
ago.
good. So we got, everybody's finally signed off.
Yeah.
Housing Authority, everybody.
Yes,
So now
it's
it's just-
everything is done. Once the ROSI gets certified by DEP, we can go out to
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Matters by City Manager.
None at this time?
Matters by the City Attorney. This time we'll break for 5 minutes until the 7 o'clock meeting. Good evening. I'm going to call the Asbury Park City Council meeting to order. Roll call. Councilmember Chapman. Here. Councilmember Clayton. Here. Councilmember Kendall.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. Yes. Mayor Moore.
Here.
Please rise for a silent prayer, moment of reflection, please. Flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 4, 2018, and posted on a bulletin board the same date. All notices were filed with the city clerk. At this time, we have a presentation from Harry Delgado, Accreditation Program Director, presenting the City of Asbury Park with the accreditation certificate.
Yeah, we'll give you a hand, person, hand.
I got it.
I don't know. Fine.
Up front.
We all going up front?
I'm
Here's the mic, left it down.
It's in front of you, Michael.
What is it?
Hand mic.
Oh, I don't. Sonia hands it to me. Kevin's tripping on shit. Put it over here.
It's not. I can tell that out. That's it. Yes.
Okay, just
I just talk as loud as I can. Actually, it is a privilege to be here tonight.
because I'm about to recognize your police department as one of the best police departments in the state of New Jersey, and perhaps because they follow national best practices considerably or arguably one of the best in the nation. And I explain why. I do bring proof. And so, just to add some context to what I'm about to present the police department with, there's over 570 agencies, law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey that would be eligible to apply for accreditation. To date, less than half of those have been able to achieve it because it is a very difficult, it's a very rigorous process that, that includes providing proofs, tangible proofs, that you follow 105 best practices both at the state level and at the national level. And a lot of those standards have multiple, require multiple proofs. So if you indulge me for 2 minutes, I'd like to explain to you what accreditation actually is. So accreditation, well, the point I was trying to make, and I missed it, is the fact that that puts your police department in about 34% of the agencies in the entire state have been able to achieve accreditation, which is a remarkable achievement. So accreditation is a process. The foundation of accreditation lies in the adoption of standards containing a clear statement of professional objectives. Accreditation is a progressive and time-proven way of helping law enforcement agencies calculate and improve their overall performances. It is a certification by an independent reviewing authority, in this case the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police, that the agency was carefully measured against an established set of state and, as I mentioned before, national standards, and has met it in the case of the Asbury Park Police Department, in many instances exceeded accepted and established practices in the field of law enforcement. And I know typically the taxpaying public wants to know what's in it for me, and I know you belong to a JIF. So research shows that accredited agencies have 11% fewer police professional liability claims, 11% fewer worker compensation claims, and 31% fewer auto liability claims. Moreover, municipalities that participate in a male-affiliated JIF stand substantial issuing premium discounts when the police department obtains accreditation that this one has. But besides the fiscal advantages, there's many other advantages to a police department that is now accredited, as yours is. Accredited agencies are better able to defend against lawsuits and citizen complaints. Accreditation provides objective evidence of an agency's commitment to excellence in leadership, resource management, and service delivery. Government officials can be more confident in the agency's ability to operate efficiently and meet community needs. And accreditation is something that we saw when we assessed the Asbury Park Police Department. Embodies the precepts of community-oriented policing. It creates a forum in which police and citizens work together to prevent and control challenges confronting law enforcement and provide clear direction about community expectation. They respond to provide a service to what the community actually needs. Accreditation standards give the chief a fluid management system of written directives, sound training, clearly defined lines of authority, and routine reports to support decision-making and resource allocation. Finally, officers in accredited agencies, as we see some of them here tonight, are able to take pride that they have been objectively recognized for their professionalism and adherence to the highest standards. This process, ladies and gentlemen, takes about 2 years to complete. And at the end of 2 years, we come on site and we spend up to 2 days examining and making sure that every proof the compliance presented and show the tangible proof for those 105 standards. And a report is generated before they even get an opportunity to sit in front of the commission. And so I want to paraphrase some of the things that the assessor said, which I believe speak loudly about the quality of police department services that you receive. Interviews with the current staff on-site observations made it clear to the assessment team that there has been a significant and positive cultural shift made by the members of the Asbury Park Police Department. Staff identifies several key issues which are seen as critical for the agency to address the upcoming years. Most notably is the process to continue to expand upon the agency's commitment to follow best practices, which led to the accreditation today. In addition, the agency looks to expand upon its implementation of an early warning system, overarching goals of reducing internal affairs complaints, and identifying and assisting police officers with training and counseling as much as needed. That's a remarkable commitment from leadership towards their troops. Under the leadership of Deputy Chief Kelso, the Asbury Park Police Department, sworn and civilian members are extremely dedicated to providing their community with excellent police services. And what I find remarkable is when we come for those 2 days, trust me, we look and we find. And there's a whole section in the report that is addressed as issues found while we come in. In the case of the Asbury Park Police Department, we couldn't find one. We couldn't find a single one, so that puts them in a very elite group of about 1% of the agencies that come into a process the first time around, and they don't have any issues they need to answer to. So it is the opinion of the assessment team that the Asbury Park Police Department is a highly professional and committed agency which exemplifies all of the tenets of law enforcement accreditation at the state and national level. And again, I repeat, it is indeed my privilege on behalf of the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Commission to congratulate Chief Deputy David Kelso, Accreditation Manager Sergeant Carmen Gagliano, the captain who sits next to me, the members of the Asbury Park Police Department, the mayor and the council, and those citizens that they so proudly serve for achieving state accreditation, joining a very exclusive group of law enforcement agencies that have made this important commitment to excellence in policing. So to all, congratulations. Which is good for 3 years, which means I'll see you again in 3 years.
Yeah. And thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come down and give this to us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, everybody.
Did you have it?
Deducted points.
We'll move on with our agenda. Can I have a motion to open to public portion of the meeting, please?
Move it. Second.
Anybody who wishes to speak, please state your name and address at the mic in the back, and each member of the public has 3 minutes to speak.
Hi there, good evening. My name's Trip Brooks. I live at 1212 4th Avenue in Asbury Park. I've lived in the town since 1999, and my current residence since 2004. And the reason why I came tonight was I actually thought that tonight was the night that there was going to be an adoption of the in the waterfront plan for lot-by-lot development. I've been a partner in a property. I haven't been very vocal about it, but I'm a partner in a property at 215 First Avenue. It's a boarded up, abandoned apartment building, a block and a half from the beach, that's been boarded up since 2005. And currently I think it generates about $20,000 in taxes. And I've really been anxious to develop this property for a while. Again, I haven't been very vocal because it's just not, I feel very much a part of the community, and I don't want to be difficult, but I don't know what else to do other than to come and express that I want to do something good on that property. I want to give back to the community I live in. I want to continue to be a developer in town, and I just don't know what, like, the time. I feel like I'm standing in 2003 when I was speaking about the Steinbach building, which was a boarded up, vacant, 100,000 square foot building in the downtown that I couldn't get developed. Eventually it did, and I think it was a catalyst for the downtown. I'm one of just a handful of people that have property there. I have a property that's 22,000 square feet. By the new ordinance, I can do it. And I wanted to come and express that you see me around town. I'm available, and I just wanted to come and say, I'm not sure what the holdup is, or I'm glad that it's finally reached this point where it's gone to planning, it's back to council, but I really implore you as a citizen and also as a developer in town, I think we have a great plan for this that we want to show you, but we need this ordinance to be passed for us to even be able to come in and make a change on that. So again, I appreciate you taking it from nothing where it was nothing before, as it wasn't zoned properly, and you've moved it to this point, but we sort of got to go the final, 10 feet here and complete this, so that that I think what we can do is bring to the forefront a project that everybody can be proud of, instead of me maintaining the grass and the graffiti on this abandoned eyesore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think we're in general agreement with you, and it's been listed on the past 3 agendas, and it's been tabled in the past. It's going to be tabled tonight. We had a discussion about it, and I'm going to say, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, we're assured that on the June 13th meeting it will be up for a vote. It's just a question about all the T's aren't crossed and all the I's aren't dotted. And if you're going to do it right the first time, and don't do it then somebody challenges it. So it's the legal minds on both sides are looking at it, but we've been assured on June 13th there will be a vote on this, correct?
You actually have right now what is as close to the final draft as possible. It was sent over at 6:45. Between the meetings, I skimmed it. You have what is pretty much pending ISTAR's review, final draft of the master bill.
So trip June 13th.
Thank you.
And if it's not going to be on there, do not advertise it, because that's just false hope to people. Next.
Hi, my name is Annette Harrell. I live on the west side in Asbury
Give an
Park
exact
Village.
address, please.
I was getting to that.
Okay.
Building 1, apartment 312,
Thank you.
Atkins Avenue. I'm here today because I came to you in the past about a situation dealing with the Housing Authority. I have been reading, and I saw that the same person that I had the issue with has actually been reelected to serve again another 3 years as a commissioner. I actually personally spoke to you, Mr. Moore, about this situation. It never was resolved. In fact, in front of the board, I spoke and asked what part did the city council play in putting this person in the seat that they're in now again. You told me that it was HUD that I had to go to, and HUD is vice versa, saying that it's the city council's responsibility when it comes to something in this type of situation. So I'm kind of confused, and not only that, what I know and the knowledge and facts that I know about the Housing Authority, basically this person shouldn't have never been reelected to get on the Board of Commissioners again, not only because of her actions at a public setting of threatening me to do bodily harm in front of the board members, and as well as the what do you call them? The people that were there to investigate in the Housing Authority properties. So my question to you guys is that the example that should be set for a commissioner, not only in your knowledge of electing this person, but the conduct that was towards me should not be allowed? That's the first question. Second one is, again, I talked about the west side. My question to you guys as a board, how many of you guys have actually been over on our side and have actually talked to the tenants or knocked on any doors to see what the issues was over there? And how about making a change and actually showing your concern and compassion of that you want to change on our side just as well as the east side?
Is that all your questions?
Yes.
Okay. When did I tell you it was HUD?
In one of your meetings, that city council meetings that I came to, you told me that.
I only remember you being at the last one. And I think before then, you had made complaints about whatever happened, and
Yeah, I gave you copies. I actually gave it to one of the gentlemen.
At that time, the person was a sitting member of the Asbury Park Housing Authority.
Correct.
Which we had no jurisdiction over. So if I said HUD, that's who you would have to go to. You'd have to complain to Newark. So that, to me, was the correct answer. Now, did we reappoint her? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we did. As far as have I been on the west side and been knocking on doors and everything? Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to give you specific dates and times and anything, but you can ask anybody who lives on the west side, be it or has an interest on the west side, be it Reverend Bradley, Reverend Oakes, Reverend Lee. I go to the Neptune Asbury Park Ministerial Alliance meetings, any Second Baptist Church. I've been to the Idi Amin Apartments, which they were called 20 years ago, to do a site inspection, and then brought the complaints back to the city manager, and since then they've been upgraded. So I think every person up here has been to the west side as much as they've been to the east side.
Okay, I specifically was asking though, the apartment complexes, Asbury Park Village, Washington Village, Boston Way, Lincoln Village, those complexes that I'm specifically talking about.
I've been to the villages, but I haven't been to Boston Way in 3 years because it's been knocked down. But I've been to the villages, but probably not in the last 6 months or so. So yes, I will make an effort to, if you want to have a meeting and invite me, I'll be glad to attend. Because you have a community center room over there. I know where it's at because I've been there before and I've attended meetings there. Tell me when and where, and I'll be there. And you can have as many people there, and they can hit me over the head with any question they have.
I also reached out to your the city manager, like you told me the last meeting, to set up a meeting with you, but I haven't had any call back since. I didn't want to repeatedly, constantly keep calling, but I specifically, broke it down what the meeting was going to be about, and that you told me to set it up, but I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
I cleared out my voicemail yesterday. There's been nothing. There's two numbers. I don't know which one you dialed, but I cleared out the one that's in my office yesterday. I didn't check it today. There's 4 messages. But
The 732-502-5755.
The young lady from the 775-2100 transferred me over to the number
You're
that
better
I asked
off,
for.
instead of going through the 2100 number, just go directly to the 502-5755. That goes directly into his office.
Okay.
And if he's not in a meeting, on the phone, he'll pick it up instantly.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, he plays back all the messages and gets back to everybody within 24 hours. And if you want to, jot down your number and hand it to him tonight. He'll give you a yell tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I don't want you to say it over the microphone and everybody's calling you.
Okay. Well, I'll do that. Is this meeting as well? Because I really am seeking the right answers for this housing authority issue. And basically they're telling me that you guys have a lot of impact on these people being seated in the chairs that they have, and it's not their responsibility. So I feel like, and I can have someone come down from Newark to actually meet with us to get this situation resolved, because it's not resolved and it's not fair.
The council appoints 6 of the 7 members. The 7th member is appointed by supposedly the governor's office, but it's really Department of Community Affairs. So yes, the council appoints 6 of the 7 members. Once we appoint them, we have no say over what they do, because then they're a separate autonomous agency, and just like the Board of Education, everything, and they have their own rules and regulations. They follow that. But yes, we do appoint 6 of the 7.
Well, I think that we're not all on the same page as the knowledge that and the rules and regulations that come from HUD. So that's why I was saying I will do my part to have someone come so we basically can know exactly what is supposed to play in this part, because obviously it's not, and you might be getting miscommunications or misinformation and not the correct information. So that's why I said
that happens quite frequently, not just with you, with a lot of things. And again, it's just not on purpose. Sometimes it's just cross the wires and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
You got my home phone number. If you don't, it's
I don't actually. If you can give me that.
732-988-7915. I'll give you a business card before you leave.
Okay. All right. Thank
I'm the
you.
only mayor stupid. Oh no, I won't. I didn't bring any business cards. But I'm the only Moore in the telephone book without an E, and it's a listed number.
Nobody has a telephone.
Yeah, right.
I know. Well, it's a landline too. And that's because right now the cell phone's on vibrate, and 5 days later I turn them back on. But when I go home, I see that red blinking light. I'm like, John, pick up the phone and call somebody back.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Give her my phone. Yeah, give her my phone.
Hi, my name is Gabriella Cucinato. I'm here with my husband Frank. We own a property on 209 6th Avenue, and we are here. So this is our first council meeting, and we're here because of a certified letter we got regarding the waterfront redevelopment plan, and trying to understand that a little bit better, because there are very few houses in that zone, private homes, and we're one of the few. When we bought our house in 2014, we had to put a substantial amount of money into the house just to make it safe. We had to redo all the electrical. We had to rebuild a wall in the basement. And we're a little bit concerned now what that impact will be on these private residences, and whether we will be able to afford our house, or if it's just a way of pushing us out of that space.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Because I think if
I might not understand it.
No, is that the letter that went out? The letter went out. It had to go out, and it's up on our website explaining exactly what it is. But we've posted it, and everybody that's gotten it, the true explanation, has said, "Geez, thank you. It's not going to cost you anything. He'll explain it."
Okay.
I didn't want to cut you short, but I want you to feel easier now.
Okay.
So what happens is, as we're expanding lot by lot, as Mr. Brooks had said, currently in the waterfront, you can do an entire block. You have to do an entire block of development. As we do a lot by lot, then you can be subject to a special assessment. So what happens with the special assessment?
It's allergies. I'm not sick.
So what happens with this special assessment is that for infrastructure portions of things, you would be charged for repaving the road in front of your house. For someone like you with a residential lot, it is 99% of the time, I can tell you right now, it's not going to impact you whatsoever. Because for something like Mr. Brooks's property, where you have to do a larger infrastructure, possibly a sidewalk or a street, he would be assessed a certain amount. But for a single family home, you're not going to see it, because you're not going to really be redeveloping your property in the next 30 years. So that's what it comes down to, is that under the infrastructure component report program, I know there's like 5 documents involved in this. Certain infrastructure is supposed to be upgraded. So what happens now is, we'll say like the 1101 Ocean Avenue project, it's being built. With the city had issued what are called redevelopment area bonds, we call shortened RAB. There's an assessment there to do the streets and the sewers and the lights around it. So that project then pays that assessment. For lot by lot, you would do the same thing, but for in front of your house, the odds of that happening are very, very low.
I was like, oh no, we're going to have to pay for the whole development of that.
No, because it's actually only your property.
But go if you want to, because.
Well, we're changing it to make it a little bit clearer.
Okay, well, it wasn't bad. We sent out the letter without a good explanation, so on the website is an explanation. Tomorrow there will be a better explanation.
Oh.
Hi, Rita Morano, 8th Avenue. I was supposed to get an answer. 2 weeks ago, I asked you about the debt service. It was $466,000 and almost $467,000. I didn't get an answer. I didn't get a phone call. You all voted for it except Jesse. He wasn't here that night. I was wondering, do you have an answer? Is it for 1 year? Is it for a quarter of a year? Is it for a month? How much is that debt service for? And how much does, I don't know, maybe the city manager might know. What is our bonded indebtedness anyway with such a big debt service, you know? Oh, the other thing, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I am now. The redevelopment plan in 2002, none of you were up there at the time. We were all here, Louise, I, Jerry. And you had a city manager then that created this plan. And as we all know, I don't want to talk about him because he passed away, but he went to jail for 5 years. I think that you should spend money, I never say this, but I think you should relook at this plan. This plan is too big for this town. This town's only 1 square mile, and you're going to put all these people on the beachfront. Why can't you, and you're making amendments to help the developer all the time, but never amendments to help the taxpayer or a person that wants to develop a building, like the gentleman that was standing here. I don't think that's fair. And you should look at it again because there's circumstances around this. The man went to jail for what he did. And you shouldn't be going along with this plan. It's too big. It goes down to Grand Avenue. And it's just, you don't collect taxes on any of the properties you knock down. I know of 2. One was $85,000, the other one was $45,000 a year. You're losing all that. I was just a small business person. And my property's still vacant after 11 years. Something's got to be looked at. You can't go on the 30-year plan the way Terry Weldon designed it. And I'm hoping you're going to do that because it's very important. There's people that want to develop properties and they can't do anything. The beachfront is owned by the developer. That's not fair.
On
So,
this,
I mean,
I
it's not your
1000%
fault. I'm
agree
not-
with you, Rita.
What?
I said I 1000% agree with you on this.
You what?
You agree?
I agree with you.
You agree that we should hire
Good.
lawyers to look into
I know
the
you and I get along.
This plan? To read you this
I know,
plan?
but I mean, the plan was from 2002. The man went to jail right after that and resigned.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait a second. Rita's still talking. Rita's still talking. Go ahead, Rita.
I mean, it's not your fault that this is going on. I realize that. But I was here in 2002. This is not the right thing to do. You gotta spend money and either tell the developer that he can just have Ocean Avenue or whatever. I mean, you can't just keep having people with boarded up properties. Even like I was at the zoning board meeting the other night for the Abundant Life. What's wrong with making it a hotel? Nothing. I mean, like, I'm not saying it was right or wrong there. I don't know all the details. I just happened to decide I had nothing to do, so I attended a zoning board meeting.
Oh, that's not, no, Rita, you were there for a purpose. Hey, come on, Rita.
So is there an answer for my first question?
Your first question, yeah, we'll find out tomorrow because it was Thursday. And I know Michael was in Trenton that day and I talked to the CFO and she told me she would call you that day. So I'm disappointed to hear maybe she tried and you didn't pick up. Did she leave you a message?
No message.
I know, but she was going to call. No, I talked to Joanne. Joanne told me she would call you that day. So
Okay.
this is the first time I'm hearing. Next time, Rita, you call me all the time. Say, John, I didn't get a message. Don't wait 2 weeks to come and bust my
I
back.
don't like to bother.
You call my house and yeah, that's why I have
usually give
a.
your telephone number out and everybody calls you.
So that's what I get paid the big bucks for. I mean, so call me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
So are you going to think about that? Think about the whole thing from 2002.
Okay.
And,
Yes,
and just,
okay,
if I could
right.
just indicate for the record, the reason that that former city manager was incarcerated had nothing to do with his involvement with the city of Asbury Park, or anything he did in Asbury Park.
Okay.
Had nothing to do with it?
No, the reason he went to jail was for something he did in another municipality, not anything he did in Asbury Park.
Okay.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
it. Rita, there's somebody.
The council is reviewing the plan and is potentially amending it with what's been tabled this evening.
Good evening. Is this on? Good evening, Council. Elaine Rocha, 10 Grove Court. With regard to ordinance number 2018-20, the subject of what we've been talking about. Just a few follow-ups. I note in section 2, there's I won't articulate the whole thing, but it designates, for example, the area bounded by Grand, Fifth Avenue, Webb, and Sunset as a parcel. So as it was earlier explained, if there was a parcel, like the man over here, I'm just pointing to this man over here, if it was to be developed, he would be assessed. So if all of those avenues are designated a parcel, I would like some clarity on that definition. And then also, I have 5 other questions, so I think I'll just articulate them, and then perhaps someone could explain. Number 1, I assume, well, I guess this is an assumption that the municipality will issue the bond. Number 2, how is the developer selected to build the infrastructure that will be impacted? Number 3, what is the time frame to complete the project, since the taxpayers will be paying for the assessment? How does the town plan to deal with overruns with regard to the project? What is the right to termination with regard to the contract? And how do we plan to monitor compliance with the redevelopment agreement? I could start over.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Why don't you do 1 and answer,
Yeah, 'cause
2 and answer?
Okay, I just wanted to get them out there, because I
Okay.
know I have very
A
limited
parcel is a
time.
parcel.
Yeah, but it defines so if the parcel is defined as multiple blocks and it's going to be assessed as a resident, right, on 10 Grove Court off of Sunset, and there's 5 blocks as part of a parcel, earlier it was articulated, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a homeowner would not, 99% would not be impacted, but if there's a bunch of homeowners on a 5-block parcel, we will be impacted, so we will be assessed, correct?
Only if there's redevelopment.
Okay.
If you have, this is your parcel.
Yes.
And you're saying there's 5, it's subdivided to 5 different lots,
No,
correct?
I'm just reading the ordinance where it says, Section 2, contemporaneously herewith, the city is considering an ordinance making certain amendments to the plan. Among other things, the plan amendment ordinance designates the portion of Sunset Lake Park bounded by Grand Avenue, Fifth Avenue, Webb Street, and Sunset Avenue, parens, the Sunset Lake portion, close parens, as part of the prime renewal area. Accordingly, the original infrastructure ordinance is hereby amended to include Sunset Lake portion as a parcel within the meaning of Section 2 of the original.
Oh, okay. That's Sunset Lake. That's the lake itself. So what would happen is, from my description earlier, there's a project that's in or around the lake that a developer is undertaking. And in this case, it would be the master developer only. That's in the master redevelopers agreement.
That's
So-
the 2002 agreement, correct? And any amendments there too?
So that agreement is the master developer agreement. That's
Okay.
iStar.
And I don't know if you're the city manager, but
I
I
am.
requested a copy via email. And I only sent the request on Monday, so I understand you probably get a lot of emails, but I'd like to look at that in detail.
That agreement is iStar.
Yes.
So iStar has a project that they want to do by Sunset Lake.
Okay.
If the reason why we're including the lake itself is so that the redevelopment area bonds, which are project driven,
Yes.
they are not taxpayer. It is non-recourse. Taxpayers are not responsible for any of the payments.
From the general account, but
No,
I'm good.
no,
Why does it speak to an
let me
assessment?
finish. Let me finish. They're non-recourse bonds. So what that means is they've already been approved to been issued by the city from the local finance board. iStar has to purchase the bonds and pay the debt service. That's it.
So they purchase
So
the bonds and pay the
there
debt.
is no risk to the taxpayer. So, excuse me. So for the 1101 Ocean, which I just used as the last example, the infrastructure around it is part of the special assessment. And if say that project was $10,000 in taxes in a special assessment, the city would receive approximately $6,500.
Okay.
$3,500 would go to pay off the debt. So say it was $35,000, $3,500 times 10 years is $35,000. It is project specific. So to include Sunset Lake allows now for lake improvements through the redevelopment area bond program, which has already been authorized. So the lake needs improvements. It needs to be dredged. It needs everything in that. This now will allow a project to be able to fund improvements to the lake, just like all the other infrastructure. They're non-recourse bonds, bought and paid for by iStar. There is no tax dollars spent on any of that program.
What are the rate of returns on those bonds, and do they benefit from a coupon or a yield? What's
They
the
get a
duration?
7% yield on their capital going forward with it.
Okay.
It's a good deal for them.
So what, my other question was, what are the timeframes to complete the project? And if that's in the master redevelopment agreement,
The
I'm
time,
happy to look
it's
at that.
project specific.
Okay.
So depending on the long-term tax exemption law,
Yep.
it can be up to 30 years.
Yep.
So it depends on how the infrastructure is part of that. And that's part of the pro forma as the pilot in the special assessment part. So it depends on the project. It could be something that they might seek 10 years of assistance for from the city, and the bonds for that are 10 years. Or it could be something like a 30-year project. It just depends on the finances of it.
So if let's play this out. So if it's a 10-year project with a 10-year bond, what are the constraints, i.e. do we call the bond? How do we know that they're complying with the infrastructure deal? Like how closely is that monitored? And again, if it's in the master redevelopment plan, I'm happy to take a look at that.
It is in the infrastructure component report, which we're in the process of updating. That's one of the documents that Mr. Brooks has expressed frustration with. We're updating that plan.
Okay.
The last time that plan was updated, I think, was 2008. So obviously,
It needs to be
infrastructure has been
updated.
done. It's monitored, one, because they have to do reporting to the trustee, Bank of America, a guy named Paul. We get the reports, and our inspectors inspect the work through T&M Associates. And then what happens at they have, and I saw your job title, so you know
Yeah.
what we're talking about here.
I work for an investment company.
What happens then is within the 3 years, they have to call it in for the non-taxable portion. And at the end of all of this, they're coming in for the taxable portion of the bond, so which has an unlimited lifespan. So for example, one of the things that we looked at, because what happens is they'll send us the payment.
Yep.
Our engineer reviews it to make sure all the work was done. Obviously, we know when a road was repaved. But there was some work that was in between, like a gate. So that would be a taxable because it's on private. So that gets put aside.
Okay.
So what happened last year, when they did a call, it was 3 stacks like this of what is eligible taxable versus non-taxable. Our city engineer then takes that. I get to review it. Redevelopment Council reviews it. Bond Council then reviews it. Our Bond Council.
Okay.
And then that's how it gets paid. But the shelf on this has been approved by the local finance board, I think in 2012 or 2011.
Okay. I think those are all my questions for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Curtis Moreland from Jersey with Love, 115 Dewitt Avenue, Asbury Park, New Jersey. Just a couple of things. I am here to invite the mayor and the council to our Volunteer Day project. Neighborhood Works and Affordable Housing Alliance has partnered with us from Jersey with Love, and we are doing a Volunteer Day, Friday, June the 8th, right at the Westside Community Center from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Neighborhood Works is bringing about 100 to 125 volunteers on site to help us get the property up and do some redevelopment over there, do some work, some painting, some fixing some things that need to be fixed. And it's a big to-do for us. This is one of the biggest nonprofit organizations in America that does volunteer services to other nonprofits. It's called Neighborhood Works, and they do this for a week throughout 50 states. And our project was picked for New Jersey and for Monmouth County, along with the Affordable Housing Alliance, came together with us and partnered to help us do this. They're taking care of all of the material, the paint, the supplies, the shrubs, the annual plants that are going to be planted out there. They're coming on site to do that on that day, Friday, June the 8th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm going to send it out in an email to everybody, but I'm publicly inviting the mayor and the whole council to come be a part of that event, and all our news people that are here. We'll be sending out press releases as well and inviting the community to come out to see what's going on over there at the Westside Community Center.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
All right.
Hi, Maggie Quinton, North Beach. I haven't been here for a while, and I was reading in the newspaper about that in North Beach now there could be an iStar private beach, and I was wondering if anybody knows the real information about it.
The real information is we know what you've read, and
no plans have been submitted to the city, but I've been very vocal as telling any newspaper, be it the Asbury Park Press or the New York Times, maybe they should have called it a pool club, because Asbury Park is not giving up part of their beaches. So
Right, isn't the beach like for everybody, like a public beach?
the rights
Right.
for them end at the western edge of the boardwalk. The city owns the boardwalk, the city owns the beach. Our beaches are so packed now, why would we give up part of our beach?
Right.
You'll go back to like 20 years ago, maybe Asbury Park would have done it. Jerry would tell you Long Branch did it 20 years ago and gave it to the county, Seven Presidents Beach, and right now Long Branch wishes they had it back because the county's making a ton of money and the city isn't. This council is not giving away the beach.
Okay.
Case closed. Correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hello, Mayor and Council, Jerry Scrano, Long Branch. What I wanted to add on to what some of the people were saying and what Rita had said about the master agreement or the beachfront agreement. She was correct. The man that was the city manager at the time was caught by the FBI for taking money extortion from developers in Ocean Township. It would be a little hard to believe he didn't do it in this town, but he did go to jail, and there is a special place in hell for him. But anyway, getting back to the plan, I had been asking you guys for years, we need a timetable to say what's going to happen with the redevelopment, because 15 years is going by, then another 5 years, and then all of a sudden we're not going to have the redevelopment finished. And you're all trying hard to make it happen. We need something in writing that says how far we went so far and what's projected to happen next year and 5 years. And I'd like you to work on that. But I believe the city manager in the past did the city wrong. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Shonda Neal, Manor Drive, and I'm here representing the committee to save the Westside Community Center. It's excellent to hear that Affordable Housing and Neighborhood Works is contributing their time and efforts. But I do know that you guys have voted to foreclose on the tax lien, and that's still the status, correct?
Correct.
So we have a rather large donor, and we're raising funds at this time to be able to pay off the tax lien. Of course, the donor's not willing to contribute it unless there's brand new leadership. So I just want to know what the agenda is once the foreclosure takes place. Do you have an agenda? Do you have a plan on what's going to happen?
We have to wait for it to play out. It's a 4 to 6 months process, and between today and that process, they could come in and pay off their taxes anytime, and that game plan could change tomorrow. Do we have a game plan if we become the owners? Yes. But we'll worry about that once we become the owners.
So you do have a game plan.
There's many options out there.
So you have many possibilities.
Yes. There's no specific game plan, because I'm not going to sit here and think of what I'm going to do when 6 months from now it could all go away. But
Well, are you discussing them now? Are you discussing the possibilities?
our attorney's on top of everything, yes.
But can you share them?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Thank
it
you.
would be like telling, you usually always
Okay.
use the, hey, I'm going to rob your bank today. Just put the guards there. No, we're not going to tell anybody our plans.
Hi, Ernest McNally.
Can't hear you.
Deal Lake Drive, Asbury Park, New Jersey. I just wanted to make statements with my time. Number one, in communicating with the city, I find that the city manager and the city attorney have imposed upon me unusual restrictions, ongoing, and it's caused a lot of problems. I don't expect a comment back from it, but it is a fact and it's documented. Number two, it's important to note that the Santander has been in such violation for 3 years with fire and imminent hazards that, in fact, the Asbury Fire Department marshal was removed for conflict with the super and for other reasons. And then Neptune was installed, and Neptune further caused problems. We still don't have a satisfactory inspection after 3 years, so that now the state fire marshals have taken over. Now, the reason I say that is because when I try and report things, and it's been alleged that, oh, you know, he sends emails at 7 o'clock at night. Who doesn't? Basically, you know, if you're not in your office where you're supposed to be, I don't mean you as a I mean a city person. So when I send an email to somebody, City of Asbury, at 7 p.m., I really don't expect you to open it until you're in your office at 9 a.m. So for someone to turn around and say, well, you're reporting emergencies at 9 o'clock at night while we're at our dinner table, you're invading our privacy. I don't get that. So that's my other point. And I think it's important that when I went to the local news to indicate that the Santander, which we're all living at in horrible conditions, is taken over by the state fire marshals. It's so bad that none of the press will run the story. It's like we're only running like Twilight Zone with everything that's perfect, when in fact there's two big issues. There's a lot of things that are not perfect in Asbury Park, a lot of life hazards, and there's also, we still haven't moved, of 565 municipalities, 2017 statistics, per capita in New Jersey, we are the first and second most dangerous place. And that's not a good statistic. Every year I come in and I make that statement, and every year I get no response, and it's sort of like, well, you know, this guy makes trouble. Well, I don't really make this trouble, I just report it. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to close.
Move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Move on to minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes this evening. We have executive session minutes of May 9, 2018, workshop minutes of May 9, 2018, and regular session minutes of May 9, 2018. Motion to adopt, please.
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Never done that before. We have a consent agenda. We have Resolution 2018-193, resolution approving special events application. Resolution 2018-194, resolution to credit sewer account for 302 First Avenue. Resolution 2018-195, resolution approving a Hana Kitchen Company 2017-2018 liquor license renewal. 2018-196, appointing members to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Those members are, regular member would be Jennifer Souter with the term expiring December 31st, 2018, and an alternate 2-member, Christopher Gonzalez, with a term expiring December 31st, 2018. And finally, Resolution 2018-197, resolution authorizing the disposition of surplus property, which are electronics. Have a motion, or does anybody wish any of those resolutions to be removed? No. Have a motion to approve, please?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Individual resolutions, we have resolutions 2018-198, resolution approving payment of mills. Have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman is abstaining from these following purchase orders, which is 18-00372, 18-00373, 18-01168, 18-00374, and 18-01487. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
No.
Resolution 2018-187, resolution to table, was it recommended to table Resolution 2018-187, personnel policy?
Move to table.
Second. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-199, resolution designating jitney routes for 2018. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-200, resolution adopting environmentally preferable purchasing policy, green purchasing policy. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-201, resolution awarding a contract to Monmouth County for repaving. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-202, resolution authorizing change order number 1 for the Firehouse Linseed project. Have a motion, please.
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-203, resolution approving change order number 3, 4th Avenue improvements. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-204, resolution approving change order number 4 for 4th Avenue improvements. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-205, resolution of the City of Asbury Park releasing performance bond for Asbury Lanes located at 1101 Ocean Avenue and accepting maintenance guarantee. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-206, resolution of the City of Asbury Park authorizing the execution of an interim cost agreement with Asbury Holdings LLC, including provisions for an escrow deposit to defray the city's costs incurred in the negotiations of the redevelopment agreement for 101 First Avenue. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
That was Rob.
1101. 1001.
1,001.
One of those numbers.
Any comments or
1,001.
questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-207, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park referring proposed amendments to the Main Street redevelopment plan to the City of Asbury Park Planning Board and directing the planning board to take certain actions pursuant to NJSA 48:12A-7E. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
No.
Resolution 2018-208, resolution authorizing the purchase of asphalt materials from Stavola Construction Materials, Inc. for the paving of various roadways. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-27, bond ordinance amending and supplementing bond ordinance number 2018-4, which provides for various 2018 capital improvements herefore finally adopted by the City Council, the City of Asbury Park, in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey on February 28, 2018, and to amend this description set forth therein. Can I have a motion to introduce this ordinance, please?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Public hearing for this ordinance is scheduled for June 27, 2018. The next three ordinances I'm going to ask for a table on, which was 2018-15, Adoption of amendment of a waterfront redevelopment plan, 2018-20, amendment number 1 to an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park and the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, providing for special assessments of the cost of certain wastewater, stormwater, roadway, streetscape, utility, and other infrastructure improvement portions of the prime renewal area, the boardwalk area within the Asbury Park waterfront redevelopment area, and establishment of a mechanism for a payment of the cost thereof. And ordinance 2018-21, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park, Monmouth County, State of New Jersey, adding Chapter 2, Section 88, development fees to the Code of the City of Asbury Park. Can I have a motion to table those 3 ordinances, please?
Move to table.
Second.
Anybody like to make a comment?
I would. So these are all ordinances essentially related to lot by lot, which is what Mr. Brooks was talking about, having development in the waterfront with a waterfront plan that only allows for development of blocks. And John and I were designated by the rest of the council to do the waterfront amendment meetings. We can only have 2 council members in meetings at the time to not violate the Sunshine Law. So for the last 1.5 to 2 years, we've repeatedly had endless meetings, countless drafts, and have been told that we're on the same page on lot by lot, because the city certainly benefits from lot by having diverse, economically diverse condos in the waterfront and not just $11.01 million condos in the waterfront. So we met repeatedly, we gave repeated deadlines, and we are moving to table this again, which I'm absolutely not going to table, and I'm furious that we cannot get this small portion done, which everybody agrees, iStar says they agree, that lot by lot is beneficial to this entire city. So I am moving to not table it, and if it's not on for the next meeting to pass, I will again continue to vote no on tabling lot by lot, with the theory that we can free the hostages who own a certain percentage of land in the waterfront.
Roll call.
And for the record, just so it's clear, what would be the new date if these are tabled?
The new date would be June 13, 2018. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
No.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Move on to ordinance 2018-22, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending Chapter 7, establishing Article 3, jitneys. I'm sorry, that's Chapter 8. Have a motion to open this ordinance up to the public, please?
Move it.
Second.
You have to get up to the microphone.
It's a jitney service from the waterfront downtown in Springwood Ave that would charge people and then run a loop around Asbury. But if you want, Michael Menzel, I'm sure can explain it better than I just did.
That's
what it is?
Yes. Okay, thank
But
you.
you should explain these things. People don't know in this audience. They don't come as often as we do.
You're the one who asked the question.
And I thought Michael did an explanation of the entire agenda.
Okay, and maybe you were late when we reviewed the agenda from 6 to
was.
7. So,
Motion to close this ordinance to the public, please?
Move it. Second.
Have a motion to adopt this ordinance, please?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
No.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
And Mayor Moore?
yes.
Ordinance 2018-23, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending traffic parking regulations for Chapter 7. Have a motion to open this to the public, please?
Move it.
Second.
This makes 5th Avenue between Steiner Place and Main Street from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the south side of the street, a 2-hour parking zone. Any other questions? Motion to close.
Move it.
Second.
Can I have a motion to adopt, please?
Move it.
Have a second? Councilmember Chapman?
No.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
No.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance 2018-24, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park adopting amendments to the Springwood Avenue redevelopment plan. Can I have a motion to open this to the public, please?
Move it.
Second.
Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close, please?
Move it.
Second.
Can I have a motion to adopt, please?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
No.
Resolution 2018-25, I believe the mayor wished for this to be tabled, so can I have a motion to table, please?
Move it.
Table.
Move the table. Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
And finally, ordinance 2008,
For the record, if you could indicate when that matter is tabled to resolve.
June 13th, 2018.
And if there's not a dollar figure attached to it, don't bring it back to us.
Ordinance 2018-26, an ordinance amending ordinance 2015-13 of the City of Asbury Park authorizing the execution of First Amendment to Special Assessment Agreement in connection with the special assessment of the cost of certain wastewater, stormwater, roadway, streetscape, utility, and other infrastructure improvements to Block 4104, Lots 3 through 7, 10, and 11 within the Asbury Park waterfront redevelopment. Can I have a motion to open this to the public, please?
Move it.
Second.
Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close, please?
Move it. Second.
And can I have a motion to adopt, please?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
There will be no further business. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?